story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. Lagos State's governor declares 8th of October as new resumption dates for schools in the state. We'll bring you details later. President Goodluck Jonathan has traveled to New York to attend the 69th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Presidential spokesperson Ruben Abati disclosed this in a statement, saying that the president will return to the country on Thursday after a brief and private stopover in London. While in New York, Jonathan will attend receptions hosted by President Barack Obama and the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon. The president will also address the United Nations Security Council high-level session on threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts. Jonathan is also scheduled to hold bilateral talks with Ban Ki-moon and the British Prime Minister David Cameron. Coming from a recent wholesome endorsement of President Goodluck Jonathan, the People's Democratic Party says it is ready to take over the southwest states and other states across Nigeria in the forthcoming 2015 general elections. The party staged a Southwest Sensitization Unity rally at the popular Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos. Oluwaseyi Adegoke was there. Her reporters presented from our studio.
A mammoth crowd gathered for the rally, which had in attendance the big wigs of the People's Democratic Party, including President Goodluck Jonathan, whose presence in Lagos heightened security presence in and around the state. Vice President of Nigeria, Namadi Sambo, did mince words on the achievements of the present administration, which he described as a good sign for the country.
There is no doubt that from what I have seen today, is a confirmation of the deep appreciation of the successes in Mr. President's achievement of the transformation agenda. Mr. President, I will seize this singular opportunity to also thank you for what you are giving to the people of the Southwest. We thank you very much.
Chairman of the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum, Godswill Akpabio, who had recently led his colleagues in the party to champion and endorse the second-term project of Jonathan, says the party is ready to bring more governors outside its field to work for the People's Democratic Party's success at the 2015 general elections.
To pay solidarity to our great faithfuls, to the supporters who have remained dedicated, who have remained committed, despite the fact that some of the states here do not have PDP governors. Our brother Ayo Fayose, who has just spoken to us here, we are saying that we will use him as a nucleus to bring more PDP governors to the Southwest.
For his part, National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Adamu Muazu, declares that the party is battle-ready for 2015 general elections and nothing short of victory will be the reward for Jonathan's administration for what he claimed the president has achieved for the country.
I want to assure you that Southwest has been PDP, but under very serious judicial process, we lost 3 states, and I want to assure you that we have started recapturing our states, starting with the Ekiti state. By the grace of the Almighty God, I assure you, in the next election of 2015, we will not only recapture our own states that have been taken over by the opposition, but indeed, as I always tell my friend, Governor Fashola, we are coming.
The man of the moment, in whose primary interest the rally was initiated, President Goodluck Jonathan, and who is still bathing in the euphoria of his recent endorsement by the PDP Board of Trustees, Governors and its National Executive Council, says his administration is on course and will surmount all challenges, no matter how heavy.
The idea of the rallies is to bring the family together, for us to reason together, for us to see our faces, for us to dance and clap and sing, so that we know that we belong to one family, one PDP family, the largest political party in the continent of Africa. We promise that we'll transform Nigeria. We promise that we'll make changes. We promise that we'll never go back. And for us to do that, we need all Nigerians to work with us.
The promise to win notwithstanding, political observers say the PDP should wait for the ultimate deciders to speak through the choice at the 2015 general elections.
Ahead of the 2015 elections, more members of the People's Democratic Party are increasingly confident of the party's chances in the Southwest. They readily point to the total votes recorded in recent gubernatorial elections in Ekiti and Osun states to justify their stance.
If you have followed the historical trajectories of Oyo State and its politics, you would come to the very simple conclusion that the present administrations, not only was it ill prepared, there certainly had been no consistent policy or its implementation towards the people. That gives a very major gap. And today you can look at the fiscal arrangement of the APC government in Oyo State and see, the skew between the current and the capital ratio. That is how much money daily is available to funnel into those projects. It was under my humble leadership that at the touch of a button, you are able to say, in Itesiwaju local government, you had 20 malaria cases last month, or you had 150 diarrhea diseases, such that the minimal resources that is available can be targeted, funneled to the areas that is most needed. And therefore, Oyo State became the template for the entire Nigeria. Many, many achievements during my tenure as Commissioner for Health. For instance, the childhood killer disease, we met at immunization rate of 13%. By the time I was leaving office, and you can confirm from UNICEF, immunization rate for your state was at 97% coverage.
The People's Democratic Party says it will embark on a nationwide tour. The information was disclosed at a press briefing by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Olisa Metu. Metu says the tour will enable the party showcase the achievements of the party in all the states of the Federation since the return of democracy in 1999. The youth arm of the All Progressives Congress, known as the All Progressives Youths, has called on all the presidential aspirants in the party to remain focused and committed to the party's success in 2015. Led by its national president, Oluwaseyi Bamigbade, made the call during the inauguration of its 36 states coordinators in Abuja. The group called on presidential aspirants, including former military head of state Muhammad Buhari, Atiku Abubakar, Rabiu Kwakwanso, to remain focused, and all other aspirants to remain focused and work together so that the party can defeat the People's Democratic Party in the forthcoming general election. The group says with a strong unity of purpose, the APC will easily defeat PDP in the 2015 elections. As part of activities to mark the 4th anniversary of his government, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi is set to inaugurate no fewer than 50 projects scattered across the state. Fayemi's Chief of Staff and Chairman, Media and Publicity of the anniversary, Yemi Adaramudu, says the theme of the anniversary is celebrating a legacy of honor and service. He says the governor will begin a thank you tour to the 16 local government areas and the 19 local council development areas of the state. Adaramudu says Fayemi's administration had continued to work tirelessly to the last days, delivering the dividends of democracy for the people. He added that under Fayemi, Ekiti has become an investment haven, a tourist destination of choice, the toast of development partners, and a reference point in good and responsive governance. Chairman of the Nigeria Union of Teachers in Kwara State, Musa Abubakar, said teachers in the state will not resume on September 22nd. He stated that the government had not made enough provisions to protect the students, their teachers and pupils from contracting the Ebola virus. However, the State Commissioner for Education, Saka Onimago, had directed all schools to resume by September 22nd. He had also directed schools in the state to provide basic hygiene materials like washing bowls, soaps and towels. But Musa said the union's appeal to governments to use qualified health personnel to train teachers to forestall the outbreak of Ebola disease had not been heeded, adding that the government had not provided hand sanitizers and infrared thermometers as the teachers demanded. A source involved in the negotiation has told CNN that Nigerian government officials and the International Committee of the Red Cross have had talks with Boko Haram about swapping prisoners of the dreaded terror group for the more than 200 Chibok girls kidnapped in April. The officials met 4 times in mid-August with 2 senior members of Boko Haram in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The swap would involve the release of 30 Boko Haram commanders in the custody of the Nigerian government, according to the source, who asked not to be named due to the sensitivity of the issue. Boko Haram submitted a list with the names of 30 members who were either convicted or awaiting trial on terror offenses. According to the source, the 2 Boko Haram negotiators assured ICRC and government negotiators that the girls were never raped, were never used as sex slaves, and were never sexually assaulted. The terror group abducted an estimated 276 girls in April from a boarding school in Chibok, Borno State. Dozens escaped, but more than 200 are still missing. The police authorities say the ban on roadblocks and checkpoints have not been lifted in any part of the country. Acting Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba has directed police commands that the order banning roadblocks is still in force. Police spokesperson Emmanuel Ojukwu said in a statement that the directive has since been sent to all commands and formations. Abba was quoted to have warned that all semblances of police roadblocks and permanent checkpoints, which are re-emerging in some parts of southern Nigeria, should immediately be dismantled. The IG described the trend as a serious violation of subsisting order and warned that severe sanctions await anyone who violates the order. He has, however, ordered extensive visibility patrol and effective surveillance on roads. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has approved 7 new private outfits. Commandant General of the NSCDC, Ade Abolore, presented licenses to the new operators but threatened to sanction any of them found involved in unwholesome practices. He also encouraged the new outfits to help stamp out kidnapping, pipeline vandalism and other forms of crime from the society.
So now that we are now in this position, let's cooperate maximally and be able to save Nigeria, to reduce drastically crimes and all these vices of insecurity. I believe by looking at you that you have served diligently and that you can still do your best to ensure that Nigeria of our dream that will be at peace can still be attained. We reduce to its barest minimum criminality in all these sectors of the economy. And whether the prison have more inmates or not, it's not our concern. Our concern is to ensure that we rid off criminality and to ensure that we have, sustainable growth of our economy and that we drive away vandals.
The recent claim by Amnesty International that Nigeria's human rights record is fraught with torture through activities of the nation's police has received the backing of a public and political affairs analyst. The analysts, Dikpo Olayoko and Ebul Ola Martins, who featured on a flagship program, Core Digest, derided Nigeria police for lying over what is evidently seen in the cells across the country. Olayoko particularly advised the police to build on criticisms rather than finding a way to put up unnecessary defense, while Martins attributed the problem to what it described as the failure of the Goodluck Jonathan administration.
One of the reasons why this country is in this position is because we delude ourselves so much with self-denial. Things that we are saying, they will tell us, no, it's not like that. That's what Fela call the government magic. They turn green into blue. We are journalists. We are Nigerians. We visit police stations. I don't know if you can just take it upon yourself. As you are leaving this place, go to a nearest police station. Ask to see the people in detention. My dear brother, you will marvel at the state of these people in police detention. Yoruba people say once you know a mad person know he's sick, he is half cured. It's like the police don't know that there's a problem, and that is the problem that we have with this issue. For Ojukwu to have come out to say Amnesty is lying, but we always witness this thing in and around Nigeria.
Our problems has to be do with bad leadership, because when the head is corrupt, it comes down. And this is one of the reasons why I have been advocating that all Nigerians should immediately, without delay, vote out PDP. The reason is very simple. Today, Ghana has become a country that all over the world they are highly respected. They are respected not because they are called Ghanaians or they are called Ghana as a country. They are highly respected because all over the world they are now aware that if any party federally is not doing well, the people vote them out. So for the past few years, you can count how they have been changing the parties. The president that wins this time may not even be the president that wins next time. So everybody now is aware, if you are the president, you and your cabinet, you are aware that if you could not do well, you're going to be voted out. So now they know that in Nigeria, is the party called PDP is aware that either we do it right or we do it wrong, we are still going to be there, so it doesn't matter. We also allegiance to the people. We only owe allegiance to some very few people, and that's it. And that is one of the reasons why we are where we are.
It's the Core TV News at 7. We'll take a break and we'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thank you for being there. Residents of Abuja have appealed to the Department of Petroleum Resources to monitor the distribution of fuel in the metropolis following the return of long queues that has been observed at filling stations across the Federal Capital Territory. The residents complain of being on the queue for more hours, unending with no hope of accessing the product. The long queues, which is directly linked to the strike of oil workers over the management of their pensions, was resolved after oil workers under the aegis of the Petroleum and National Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria and National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers met with the Petroleum Minister Desani Alison Maduke on Friday. The residents, however, linked the unavailability of the product to hoarding and have asked the DPR to investigate the cause of the scarcity. A Zimbabwean opposition politician is among at least 80 people who died in the synagogue church building that collapsed in Lagos a week ago. Greenwich Ndaga was the Movement for Democracy Change provincial chairman for Mashonaland West. Most of the victims were South Africans who were staying in the multi-story guest house belonging to the Synagogue Church of All Nations, presided over by the popular TV evangelist TB Joshua. More than 130 people survived, including one South African woman who was pulled from the rubble on Monday, 3 days after the building collapsed. Ndaga's death has been confirmed by his family and party officials. MDC spokesman Douglas Umwonzora says he was a pastor and was in Nigeria on church business. The second phase of the Rural Access and Mobility Project has been flagged off in Osun State by Governor Rauf Aregbesola. The project, which is sponsored by the World Bank, French Development Agency, the federal and Osun State government, is driven at opening the rural areas to economic activities. Rashid was at the flag-off ceremony in Ikeji in Oriade local government area of the state. The report.
Statistics from the Osun State Ministry of Works revealed that 75% of road network are in the rural areas. This has made rural development a priority for the Aregbesola administration. Launching the second phase of the Rural Access and Mobility Project in Iraipetu, Special Advisor to the Governor, Kunle submits that the government is committed to rural development.
Sustenance of access into rural areas is one of the key objectives of RAP. This is based on the attainment of all-weather and all year-round pliable roads and mobility system. Let me say that your coming to this program is not by accident, but it is due to your importance in the scheme of RAP.
The country director of RAMP, Ubandoma Ularam, and the representative of World Bank, Muhammad Esakali, commends the strive of the state government in making rural areas economic hub, particularly in its stellar performance in the first tranche of TRAMP, which gave Osun the opportunity to be considered first in the second phase.
To the communities, these are your roads. Osun State is like a body, and the roads are like the blood vessels. So take care of these roads the way you take care of yourself, of your families, of your kids, and of your relatives.
It is our conviction that rural roads hold the key to the transformation of the rural communities. As such, strategic efforts must be geared towards ensuring that most states of the Federation understand this and embrace the RAMP approach to addressing challenges of poor rural transport infrastructure in the country.
The flag of the construction is
Aregbesola laments neglect of rural areas over the years, but averred that proactive steps of his government's support of projects like RAMP will make Osun people smile again.
With the development of agriculture, the festering canker of hunger, unemployment, poverty, poor education can be dealt with. However, indispensable to this agricultural revolution program is according necessary development attention that had long been denied to our rural areas.
The second phase of the Rural Access Project covers 225 kilometers of roads spread across 4 zones in the state. This will also provide initial employment for rural dwellers through ramp construct and road maintenance gangs. Rashid, CoreTV News, Iraipetu, Oriade local government area, Osun State.
And outside Nigeria, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair says President Obama is absolutely right to take on ISIS, but aerial campaigns won't be enough to do it. Blair hinted that Western ground troops may be needed in the fight. He added that the leadership, both in the United States and elsewhere, will make sure that whatever is necessary to defeat ISIS is done. Blair says there will be a need to hit ISIS not simply through an area campaign, but also on the ground. He questioned the ability of the people, if they are supported locally, to do the job, or Europe will have to supplement their efforts. And that's the news for this hour. Join me again at 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.